this is a 4-piece rod.
Okay.
This is a reel.
All right.
It's not very complicated as far as fishing gear goes.
Okay.
This is mostly just a spring. Are you recording right now?
Yes, I am.
All right. So the whole point of fly fishing is that you throw a fly that is so light that you have to weight the line.
Okay.
And throw the line, and the fly just happens to be on it.
Who came up with this? Do you have any idea?
It was invented by the Egyptians.
Ah.
They used to use woven yarn made
Okay.
out of wool.
Okay.
We use PVC plastic
Down
now.
to.
So let's see here. I've got a little bit of a situation. This is the line. It's like a nylon that's coated with PVC plastic. And at the end of the line is a leader. Now the fish, of course, could see this.
Okay.
So then we have about a 9-foot leader that's made out of monofilament or,
Okay.
and it's tapered if you look at it. It's drawn out by the Japanese. They make these and then it gets finer and finer and finer as you get to
Okay.
the tip.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Fish are smart, you know, like the fish that you catch with the fly rod have been caught maybe 20 or 30 times. So they're wise.
Okay.
And they're looking for any indication that your fly is fake. So how it lands on the water and how it's presented in the water, it's all part of the game.
Okay.
So let's just pretend that this is an insect and these are the wings.
Okay.
Right? And when it lands on the water, it'll just land oh so gently on the top of the water like that. And then the hook would be underneath it and it would drift along in the water
Okay.
as if a mayfly had landed on the surface of the water.
Ah.
Alright, so when you do this, the object is to throw a loop. And you know, like if you're flipping a garden hose or an extension cord,
Okay.
it's the same kind of deal, only you're on top of a 9-foot spring, so you have a little more reach.
Okay.
So you have your back cast, and the idea is to get as much line up in the air as you can,
Okay.
and then I'm catching the grass over there.
Good job.
Yeah.
Let's eat it for dinner.
The idea is to get as much line up in the air as you can, and then throw a loop forward, and you can see the loop unroll as it goes
Okay.
out. So.
I'm gonna back up here in a second.
So the four count thing, and it depends.
Okay.
It's not always 4 counts.
Okay.
If I am not reaching out very far, it might just be 2. So you wait, and you pause, and you get it up there, and then you go forward. So it could be like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
All right, and that's a pretty nice one right there. It's kind of windy, but
Okay.
that was a good loop.
Okay.
I get it up there, and you can feel the line in the rod. When the line turns over, you can feel the rod go back.
Yeah, see if you can see the loop. It's gonna be a little tricky.
Can you see the loop?
We'll try it. Let's see.
You might have to stand behind me.
Okay, I'll do that too. So you can kind of see it. I'm gonna go behind him too. We'll just keep it on him the whole time. You'll bat me in the head with it. See if I can get it for you. Okay. I think so. One more time. Yeah. I hope you're able to see that, kids. I don't know if you can or not. Okay.
Look that way.
Okay, I'm gonna get right up there
I won't
next
get you.
and up.
Like stand just like right next,
here?
right here. This is a good
Okay.
spot.
Oh, that's sweet. Do it again.
Yeah, I can do a better one.
Nice.
That was a good one.
Okay. Oh, very
See
good.
how that goes?
Yeah. Thank you.
That one's up.
That's awesome. You saw it all here first, folks. Your own
Reach out
Dr.
there.
Wolf.
Reach
Who
out
knew?
there, 100 feet.
He has many talents.
That was a good one. I could do this all day.
You do that all day?
And I could.
Even though you're not catching any fish?
I think it's fun to just watch the line unroll.
Okay.
Especially
Okay.
it's like any other thing you do, that technique matters.
Okay. Technique matters. Dr. Wolf is going to explain a roll cast as well, because you will encounter that in the novel too.
Sometimes you get in a situation where behind you don't have room for a big back cast to come back, so you have to do what's called a roll cast. And what you do is you bring it back here like this behind you. I'm caught on the grass. And then you roll it forward.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can just roll it out there.
Okay, so you're not going all the way back.
No, I'm just
The line is
creating a
staying
loop.
sort of in the
I'm
front.
creating a loop in the line, and then I'm just making the loop go forward.
Okay.
The wind isn't helping.
Yeah, sorry, I lose my filming.
And they have spay casts too, which do some really fancy stuff. And you can get your eye poked right out. This is called a spay cast.
Okay.
And sometimes I use a two-handed rod.
Okay.
Go like this. This is a really exciting cast. This is a 5-weight rod.
Okay.
So it's a medium to lightweight.
Okay.
And I have some, like a 11-foot rod that I use for spay casting.
Okay. Okay. I'm asking Dr. Wolf what happens when you actually catch a fish.
So I take usually when you're fishing, you know, you're bait fishing, you just throw it out there and you wait and you hope. You know, you grope and hope, that's what we say. And in fly fishing, you generally know where the fish are because you use an educated guess on where they are in the water, and sometimes you can see them, and that's called sight fishing. You'll see them feeding on the surface, and so when we're fishing with dry flies, we're fishing on the surface. So if a fish rises, that means they hide out in the laminar flow, which is the very bottom part of the current, because it's less intense there, and they hang out and they can just rest. And then when they see something coming, they'll rise up and eat it off the surface. So you can watch fish rising, then you can kind of guess on what they're eating, and that's the kind of fly you put on. That's called matching the hatch.
Okay, matching the hatch.
When you catch one, it's like getting struck by lightning. It is the most euphoric and intense. Even a small fish, it's like you don't. Once you ring that bell, most people don't ever forget it, and that makes you drive hundreds of miles and do all kinds of crazy things to put yourself in that situation again. So, you know, I'm going to cast out. I see a fish flowing. I'm going to cast out. I'm about maybe 20 feet in front of him, 10 to 20 feet in front of him, and I'm going to put the fly on his dinner plate.
Okay.
And then as it flows over, he's going to come up, and I'm going to see him probably strike, and then I'm going to set the hook, and then I'm going to play the fish.
Okay.
Now, we use such light tackle, we use the lightest possible line we can. So if you just muscle the fish in, he's going to break off and go.
Okay.
And the bigger the fish is, they've also been caught, and they have strategies. If they know where a rock is, they're going to try to go and get your line tangled up. If there's a log, they're going to go for that. I've had fish that know where like this mossy slime is, and they'll head for that, and they'll get all the mossy slime on the line so that they know that the weight in the current will break it off. Sometimes they'll go upstream, sometimes they'll go downstream. You have to let them go, and that's why you have drag on a line, and when it pulls out, you set the drag to a certain way. And sometimes if you want to have a heavier or lighter drag, you palm the reel, and you put your hand right here while it spins.
Okay.
So you kind of manually do the clutch.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then you wait till the fish is tired, and then you reel him in a little bit.
Okay.
And then he'll go again, he'll run. And sometimes what we we pierce the barbs, we pinch them down so there's no barbs on our hooks.
Okay.
So the fish can spit, if they get any slack in the line, the hook will come out. And they're smart enough to wiggle their head and know how to get it out because they've done it before.
Okay.
So if the fish jumps out of the water, you bow to the fish.
Ah!
And that way they don't have the tightness in the line at that moment. Then we tighten it back up. And you keep the rod straight up, and it's a big spring, and it'll wear them out.
Okay.
And then when they're done, and they've had their fun, you just bring them on in, and then you have a net in the back, and you scoop them up.
Okay.
And then you as gently as you can, take the hook out of their side of their mouth if you've hooked them well, and you take a picture, you look at them, and you let them go.
Okay. Okay. This class, I will also give you the picture he sent me of the fish he caught that I apparently thought I liked on Facebook, but apparently did not.
Well, I didn't pay that close attention, so you might have.
Okay, that's good.
You want my opinion?
Yes, I want your opinion of the book.
My opinion is it's a beautifully written work of fiction.
Okay.
And as far as what it has to do with fly fishing, it's not really about fly fishing. It just has fly fishing in it. But I think everything that he says in there it rings true.
Okay.
You know, it has an emotional aspect that you can identify with.
Okay, that's good. All right. Dr. Wolf is going to plug a book he wants me to read. I'm going to let him tell you about it too, in case River Runs Through It doesn't do it for you. Maybe try this one instead.
If you like the subject, there's another book called The River Why, which is on the same bookshelf as Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And it's not the same thing, but it's kind of, like I said, it's on the same bookshelf. If you want to get more information, more technical information about fly fishing, there's a very good, inexpensive graphic novel called The Curtis Creek Manifesto. And it's written in such a way that explains like how to read the water and how to understand bugs and what hatches and the life of a mayfly, which is the trout's primary food. When you're fly fishing, generally speaking, you're fishing for trout or salmon, mostly trout. You can fly fish for bass too, but we generally go to cold water We wear waders up to about here,
Okay.
you know, and there's a whole bunch of gear.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Wolf.